Hi, let's look at this again. When we talk in words in science, or terms in science, sometimes we use terms that don't seem to make much sense. One of them is an inference. If you infer something, you are telling me you think something happened based upon what you have seen, heard, smelt, touched or tasted. So your observations are used for you then to try to explain what you've seen. And that is an inference. And what I want you to do during this program is to actually look at that and see if you can correctly make some inferences based upon your observations. But remember, inferences should always be supported by your observations, and sometimes we tend to go a little bit crazy and let our prediction or inference get there and be unsupported because we have a gut feeling, if you like. So we know that. Your science teacher and everything you know tells you that science knowledge is growing. It is not a static thing. And so what we do is, as we work out better ways of examining things that we see or our observations, then we work out better inferences based upon these possible explanations. Now, we use an educated guess. It's very much like being a policeman, where you use deductive reasoning. You find some evidence and then you make an educated guess. Now we call that that could even be a hypothesis if you like later. But what we do is we start by making observations and then we try to explain it. So the educated guess comes last. Don't let it happen the other way around. All right, so let's look at this one. And I've called it jumping to conclusions. I have a picture in front of us, and what I'd like you to do is to write down at least 3 observations you can make. And it must be supported by what's in the picture. I'm going to leave the picture with you at this stage and allow you to do it. And I'm going to make this into an Ed puzzle, so I'm going to say do it now. Right, now what I'd like you to do is use your 3 observations to try to make an inference. In other words, try to tell me what you think is happening. Try to explain what you are seeing. Again, as we're part of the Ed puzzle, I'm going to ask you to do that now. I am sort of wondering how many of you actually said that someone was robbing the jewellery store and forgot to look at the fact that on the outside of the jewellery store is glass. And this person standing outside as well. So maybe your inference and your jumping to conclusions might be a little bit wrong in this case. Let's have a look at another case. Right, I'm going to leave this up for a couple of minutes. And while you are doing that, I want you to think about, I want you to observe. Observe as much as you can about this. Believe it or not, I was watching a police show and they were saying that eyewitnesses, in other words, people who see things and then later on try to tell you what they saw, are very unreliable. And I'm hoping that you are very reliable. I'm going to give you a hint. Since this is an Australian thing, this symbol here is a symbol of a post box. That stands for postal or post. So this is a place where we'd go and deposit letters to send them away somewhere. Alright, so I need you to, I'm going to give you about another 30 seconds to do this. Alright, now let's see how good your memory is. I want you to now write down as many observations from that last picture as you can, as you remember. And after we've done that, I'm going to ask you to write down a one-sentence prediction or an inference about what is happening in the picture. In other words, you are going to try to link all of your observations into making an inference or prediction. Good luck.